Hey, it's me, TB, and today I'm going to be doing a upcoming 2020 releases for winter, and winter being like January, February, and March. I know winter ends like halfway through March. We're counting the full month because that's too much specificity, so I'm not all about that life. These are like upcoming releases, so I have no idea if they're actually like good or not. So if they're shit, don't blame me. I'm just telling you enough time to update you on what's coming out. Even though if you follow me on Goodreads, you've already seen all this shit, so no surprises here. And if you want to follow me on Goodreads, I put all the links to all my social media shit down below. So let's start with January. By the time this video comes out, it's probably going to be like around January 20th, so like half of these are already going to be out, but whatever. That's just how life is sometimes, you know. I had other shit to film, so it's going to be a little bit late, but whatever. We're all going to live, I promise. First up is Scavenger Stars by Tara Sim. This was released January 7th of 2020. So basically, Scavenger Stars is about this girl who rescues someone, and he's very wealthy. And he sends her off to a city, and she wants revenge against the man who ruined her family and stole the life she once had. The more she becomes entangled in this game of deception, what the fuck are words? And as soon as her path intertwines with the son of the man she's trying to bring down, the more she uncovers about the truth of her past, and the more she realizes that she must trust no one. She sounds really good. I'm all about, like, fantasy shit. Apparently it is a retelling of something. Oh, it's a retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo. Which, okay, sounds cool to me. I'm down for this shit. Next up is an anthology called U2. It's basically an anthology about women talking about, I think it's men and women, but it might not be women, I don't really remember, which is probably really shitty. I actually read this in like October or November as an arc from NetGalley. It wasn't in my wrap-up for some reason because I forgot to talk about it, weirdly enough, I know. But yeah, that was a thing that happened. I give it 4 stars on Goodreads. And I'm not going to go in depth about it, basically it's an anthology about the Me Too movement and people talking about their experiences, you know, being assaulted, and just generally living under the patriarchy. So, you know, trigger warnings for like a lot of assault. It goes some of the stories do go into a bit of like graphic details a little bit. So, you know, warning on that front. But I like it. It's coming out January 7th of 2020. So there you go. I have to tell you that all the links to all this shit are going to be down below. So you can like skip the video and just like click on all the links. You can do that. I mean, I really won't care. But yeah, here we go. So next up, releasing on January 14th, 2020 is The Companion by Kim Taylor Wakemore. So basically this is about a girl called Lucy Blunt, and she is set to hang for a double murder. But is she a murderess or the victim? Only she knows the truth. And so as she's being brought to the gallows, she reflects on the events that led to her bitter downfall. From the moment she arrived at their rambling Brighton mansion looking for work and a better life to the grisly murderers themselves. So basically, the longer she stays at this manor, the more her secrets are threatened to come out because her status is becoming a threat to the mistress of the house, and the balance of power is shifting, and it becomes a settling into motion of a brewing storm of betrayal, suspicion, and rage. So now with her execution looming closer, Lucy's allies fight to have her sentence overturned as the tale she's spinning nears its conclusion. But how much of her story can we trust? After all, Lucy's been known to bend the truth. So, sounds so fucking good. It's like a historical fiction because it takes place in 1855. So it's like a historical fiction mystery, which is my shit exactly. So I'm always there for that shit. So sign me the fuck up. If I didn't say that, it comes out the 14th of January. So it's about to come out when I'm filming this in like 5 days. So it's probably out by now. So yeah. So next up is a book releasing January 21st, and that is The Seep by Shauna Porter. Assuming it's pronounced Shauna, I have no idea. I should look that up. But it's basically about this trans woman whose life is altered in the wake of a gentle but world-changing invasion by an alien entity called The Seep. Through The Seep, everything is connected, capitalism falls, good. Hierarchies and barriers are broken down. If something can be imagined, it is possible. So Trina and her wife, Deba, live under the Seep's utopian influence until Deba begins to imagine what it might be like to be reborn as a baby. And So using sleep tech to make the dream a reality, Diva moves on into a new existence, leaving Trina devastated. So Trina is basically on a downward spiral, and she finds a lost boy, and she wants to save him from the sleep, so she will confront not only one of its most avid devotees, but the terrifying void that Diva has left behind. So a new elegy of love and loss, the sleep explores grief, alienation, and the ache of moving on. So it's like science fiction, but gay and sad, which is my shit, so hell yeah. That is coming out January 21st. So next up, releasing January 28th, is 7 Deadly Shadows. Shadows? What the fuck is a shadow? 7 Deadly Shadows by Courtney Alameda and Belen E. Maitani. I'm so shit at names. So it's about this girl called Kira Fujikawa, and she can see yokai, which are basically just ghosts and demons. But things get worse when she learns that the Shuchin-doji, the Demon King, will rise at the next blood moon to hunt down an ancient relic and bring the world to a catastrophic end. So Kira enlists the aid of 7 powerful death gods to help her slay Shuchin-doji. And blah 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 blah. So as the confrontation draws nearer by the day, the fate of Japan hangs in the balance. Can Kira save humankind, or the Demon King succeed in bringing eternal darkness upon the world? So this sounds like fun and cute. It's about demons from Japan, which are always really cool, so I'm always there for that shit. And yeah, that's mostly most of what's on this list, because demons in Japan. And that is coming out January 28th. So also releasing on January 28th is The Other People by CJ Tudor. This is about a guy, it's a thriller, by the way. I should have told that before, but I feel like most of them are pretty obvious with what genre they are, if they're fancy or not. But this is a thriller, and this is about a guy that sees his daughter being taken, and he wants to find her, but everyone believes that his daughter and his wife are dead. But it takes a few years later, and Gabe can't give up hope, and he's basically lost everything. And another POV, it looks like Katie sees Gabe a lot, and she knows his story. She feels for him because she knows what it's like to lose a loved one. And 9 years ago, her father was murdered, broke her family apart. She hasn't seen her older sister since the day of the funeral, and the day she did something terrible, which, what the fuck does that mean? And kind of need to know this. And another POV is Fran and her daughter Alice are running away from something, or ahead of the people that want to hurt them, because Fran knows the truth. She knows what happened to Gabe's daughter. She knows who's responsible, and she knows that if they ever find them, they're dead. So, a lot of she seems all twisty and turny, and sounds really fucking good. I know CJ Tudor is a well-known, popular thriller writer, because I think her debut released last year, or maybe the year before that, The Chalk Man, was really popular, so that's going to be good. So hell yeah. That is releasing January 28th. This list is releasing, we're into February now. This book is releasing February 4th, and that is The Queen's Assassin by Melissa de la Cruz. Everyone already heard this because it was really popular when it was first announced. These 2 assassins, Caledon and Shadow, and one of them is trying to become he's the Queen's main assassin. He's trying to find the DM scrolls, and Shadow has been training all her life to follow in the footsteps of her mother and aunts to become skilled enough to join the ranks of the guild. So Shadow has been learning to control her magic in secret, and she wants to become as popular as Caledon Holt. So a surprise attack brings them together. Surprise, surprise. And they team up as assassin and apprentice to hunt down a sinister threat to Renovia. So as they become closer they uncover a shocking web of lies and secrets that may destroy everything they hold dear. And yeah, there's love, intrigue, fantasy shit, and I'm there for it. So next up, a book releasing February 11th is The Mercies by Kieran Millwood Hargrave, yeah, okay. And from what I can tell, it's basically inspired by the 1620 witch trials. They took place in Norway, and it's basically about how one day there's a group of fishermen that die, and the women are kind of left alone to fend for themselves, but eventually someone comes from Scotland, a inquisitor that burned witches comes from Scotland, and they basically start enforcing the witch trials on these women. And it's about these two people called Mira and Ursa are pushed together and are drawn to one another in ways that surprise them both. The island begins to close in on them with Absalom's, which is like the guy from Scotland's, rule. I know, threatening Vardo's very existence. Okay, not pronounced Vardo, but like, what up? I'm English. I don't know how to pronounce an O with a little slashing line through it, so I'm gonna pronounce it Vardo. Not correct at all, but I'm English. I can't pronounce fucking anything. It's not in English, and I can kind of half-ass my way through French. But that's about it, my dudes. So my apologies, but that sounds really fun and gay. It's releasing February 11th in 2020. So next up is Untamed Shore by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia, which is coming out February 11th in 2020. And I saw on TBR because on Twitter she described it as a noir set in 1970s Baja California, and I was fucking there for it already. So that's all she had to say. Basically, it is about this girl called Viardina who wants to become famous and like rich and wealthy and all that shit. And one day, two wealthy American tourists arrive for the summer, and Viardina is magnetized. She wants to become in their lives or whatever, and she does. But when one of them dies, she lies to protect the other two. And someone begins to ask questions about her. She has to some of her own about the identity of her new acquaintances, and they are ready to devour a naive young woman who's quickly being tangled in a web of deceit. So fucking sign me up. I'm there for it already. So next up, releasing February 18th, is the Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I actually reread one of her earlier books, like this last fall or whatever. I really liked it, so I want to read one of her thrillers because she used to write more like historical, paranormal, romance things. And I liked one of her books in that, so I haven't read any of her like new thrillers yet. She saw my ring light wasn't on, so there you go. Oops. I had to leave and then come back, so I turned it off and I turned it back on. It's the whole thing, whatever, it doesn't matter. So this is about upstate New York in 1982. Some customers are from out of town, passing through on their way to someplace better. Some locals are trying to hide their secrets. Liv Delaney works as a night clerk to pay for her move to New York City, but something isn't right at the Sundown, and before long, she's determined to uncover all of the secrets hidden. So I actually read the first paragraph too. So the secrets lurking in her rundown roadside motel ensnare a young woman, just as they did to her aunt 35 years before. And so sign the fuck up already. It adds a little extra oomph to it. And I trust Simone St. James as a writer because I know she's very good at writing. So I think it's gonna be fucking incredible. Yeah, it's coming out February 18th of 2020. So next up, technically not a new release, but a re-release. I think this was originally self-published and then it became picked up by a publisher to be like printed out again, I'm pretty sure. Because it is coming up, it does have like an upcoming 2020 release date. So yeah. It is The Wolf of Orniaro by K.S. Veloso. So basically, summarize this one because I read like the synopsis so many fucking times. They got this girl that has to get married to the son of a rival kingdom because they've been at war for a long time. But on the day of their marriage, I think, he suddenly leaves and it begins to fracture the kingdom further. So, and a few years later, she receives a message to meet again across the sea. And so it's because they want to like reconcile, and it turns out it is an assassination attempt that leaves her stranded and desperate to survive in a dangerous land with no idea who she can trust. She's on her own and she struggles to fight her way home. Not gonna lie, it's mostly because there's a girl with a giant sword on the cover, which sign me the fuck up on. She's also queen, and it's called The Wolf of Orniaro, so don't know what that's gonna be about, but sounds great. And not gonna lie, it's also like the name of the series that got me into it because it's called, like the name of like the series is called Chronicles of the Bitch Queen. So sounds fucking great to me. Next up, I'm doing like my March releases, and I've already read like 3 of these, so I'm not gonna go in depth about any of them because I already talked about them in my previous wrap-ups for like December and November. So just go watch those if you want to hear more about them. I mean, the links to Goodreads will also be linked down below, so you can just click those and find out. But I mean, I'm going to summarize them well enough anyway. So up first is The Strike in the Shadows, which is coming out March 3rd of 2020. And this is basically a dark fantasy retelling of Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, pretty much Hansel and Gretel, yeah. But this one, I think it is the witch called the Strike, who kills men in the village. He hasn't struck for many years, but he begins to attack again. And soon the brother Hans begins to attack, but he survives. That brings like ill omens for the village, so Hans and Greta are kicked out, and they begin to have to like escape the forest while trying to evade the Strike coming to attack them again. So I really liked it. I think I gave it 5 stars. So yeah, I can at least recommend that. So next up is The Witches of Ash and Ruin by E. Latimer. I'm almost positive that I read stuff by this writer before when she wrote for Wattpad like years ago. It was like her Jotun series. It's a girl that's part of Jotun. She had ice powers or something. It was good. I liked it back then. Haven't read it since, so I have no idea if it holds up. But the little bolded part says, modern witchcraft blends with the ancient Celtic mythology in an epic clash of witches and gods. Perfect for fans of V. Schwab's Shades of Magic trilogy and a discovery of witches. So it's a girl called Dana who just wants to ascend to a full-blooded witch. But things become complicated when another coven arrives in town. And Dana finds herself at odds with the bewitchingly frustrating Maynor, M-E-I-N-E-R. Never seen that name before, so I have no fucking idea. But then a witch turns up murdered along with the blood symbol of the Butcher of Manchester, an infamous serial killer whose trail has gone long cold. So the killers and witches are enmeshed in a complex web of witches and gods, and Dana and Maynor soon find themselves at the center of it all. If they don't solve the Butcher, one of them will be next. So crafts a swooping, mesmerizing story of a dark magic and brutal mythology set against the backdrop of contemporary Ireland. That's impossible to put down. So it has Ireland, witches, gods, murder, everything I like. So there we go. So next, releasing March 5th of 2020, is The Animals at Lockwood Manor by Jean Healy. So this one is basically about, it's August 1939, and Hetty Cartwright has to kind of evacuate and safekeep the Natural History Museum's collection of mammals. So they arrive at a manor, but she realizes that's being more than she bargained for, and comes to like protect like the pieces of work from like the servants and the guy that owns the manor. And Hetty begins to suspect someone or something is stalking her through the darkened quarters of the house, and the animals begin to go missing. So the disasters begin to mount. Hetty finds herself falling under the spell of Lucy, Lord Lockwood's beautiful but clearly haunted daughter. But why is Lucy so traumatized? Does she know something she's not telling? Is there any trace to local rumors of ghosts and curses? So, That sounds like really fucking good. Kind of there for it already. I like this cover for it. I think there are 2 covers for it. I think it's going to be like one for the UK and then one's for the US as usual. But I mean, they're both really, really pretty, so I don't mind either or. You know that I'm trash for like historical mysteries, so here we go. Next up, coming out March 10th, 2020, is The Deep by Alma Katsu. She's basically like a woman survives the wreck of the Titanic. She thinks she loses her brother or her lover or something. And she becomes a nurse and gets on the Britannic, which is like the Titanic sister ship. And she starts to hear like ghostly visions and like spooky shit. And she sees, I think, her brother, who she knows for a fact is dead on the ship, who like died on the Titanic. She can like see him walking around the ship and shit. Basically, The Deep is basically like a Titanic horror story, which fucking signed me the fuck up. I think this was one of my most anticipated of 2020 because like sign me the fuck up. It sounds so fucking good. So next up, coming out, I didn't put a date for this, but I think it's coming out sometime in March 2020, probably March 17th, is The Case of the Missing Auntie by Michael Hutchinson. I have the first book here, but I already read the second book because I got it as an ARC from NetGalley. And basically, it's about these First Nations kids who are trying to like solve mysteries, like the whole series, you know. And in this book, they're trying to find their grandfather's missing sister because she went missing during the 60s scoop, and they're trying to find her. It covers a lot of like hard-hitting topics involving First Nations people, and I really liked it. It is like a middle grade book, so warning on that note. And they're not that long, but I think the second book was roughly this length too. It was less than 200 pages because I read it in like a few hours. And I recommend it. I really liked it. It was fun. talked about hard-hitting stuff without getting like too dark and deep and like sad and depressing, you know. But still like, talked about them and gave them like the respect they deserved. So I really liked it, and I can't recommend it enough. Next up is Conjure Woman by Althea Adekor, which is coming out March 17th of 2020. This is on my best of 2019 list because I read it back then. And basically it tells like a multi-timeline story between like before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and after the Civil War. And it's about this girl that is her town's local conjure woman, which means she does like magic for the townspeople or whatever. And she just like keep up lies and secrets because they're like mount up. And her magic isn't working anymore after a baby's born that I think has like coal black eyes, and he just has like some like weird stuff going on about him. And like shit starts building up. They start to like have animosity from like surrounding villages and towns and shit. It's so fucking good. So it's like twisty mystery. And like I think one of my compliments for this book was that it has mysteries that come up like every chapter. But at the same time, more mysteries are solved every chapter. So it's like a mystery never overstays its welcome. It's like the mysteries are solved at just the right time. They keep like chaining you along anyway. I love it so fucking much. It was like the best of 2019 for me. It was great, incredible. I loved it. Finally, is another thriller called The Eighth Girl by Maxine Mei-Fong Chung. It's coming out March 17th of 2020. It's about the girl named Alexa, whose life is manipulated and controlled by a series of alternate personalities, which I usually don't like mental health in thrillers, but this one sounds going to do it justice a little bit by having it be like an actual like plot element that isn't just like the twist or anything. Like, it sounds like it's going to be like an actual thing for her just to like deal with throughout the story, which I like. So let's read more. She has her friend called Ella, who's one of like the three people that know that she has her alternate personalities. And one day Ella goes missing, I think. Yes, Ella goes missing, I think. And Alexa has to go on a rescue mission after Ella gets a job at a gentleman's club. And she becomes entangled in like a secret circle or like an inner circle of some kind. So Alexa will discover whether or not her most personalities are her greatest asset or her most dangerous obstacle, which sounds really good. And it talks about the impossible fracturing weights that young women are forced to carry, causing us to question, does the truth lead to self-discovery or self-destruction? Which sounds fucking great. I'm here for it. Let's go. And yeah, there's all the 2020 releases that are announced from January, February, and March that I care about. Again, I have no idea if they're going to be good or shit. Well, besides the one that I talked about I read. But overall, no idea if they're going to be good or shit, so don't blame me. But just trying to tell you what's coming out. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, share it. You know how it be. Thank you.